Chosen one, it's real now. God's promise is here. This is not just another video. This is a divine confirmation. The time you've waited for, prayed for, is no longer some distant vision. It is here. You are the chosen one, and the promise you've been holding in your heart is stepping into reality. There's a reason you feel something shifting inside you. There's a reason your soul has been restless lately. It's because everything you were promised is now taking form. Not in the far future, not in theory, not as an idea, but now, right here, in your life. And it's more real than anything you've ever experienced. That voice inside you, the nudges, the signs you've seen, they've all been leading you here. Nothing was random. Nothing was wasted. You are walking into the moment it all starts to make sense. Before we go deeper, I want you to do something powerful. Drop your warmest, most soul-felt wish in the comments, and don't forget to add the number 99. This is not just a number. It is a code of manifestation, a mark that you're ready to receive. And as you write it, feel it. Because this isn't just about hoping anymore. This is about receiving. You've asked. You've waited. Now the universe, moved by the divine hand, is saying yes. From this moment on, it is no longer about wondering if the promise is real. It is about aligning with the fact that it already is. Every step you've taken, even those you took in tears, was on the path to this unveiling. You were not forgotten. You were not left behind. You were being positioned. The delays weren't punishments. They were preparations. They were the universe clearing the way for you to receive what's bigger than you even dared to imagine. You are not watching this by accident. You are here because you are meant to know that you are the one who rises when others fall, the one who holds the light when the world goes dim, the one who carries the promise forward. And the promise is more than just success, more than wealth, more than love. It's about fulfillment, the deep, soul-level fulfillment that comes when you realize everything was orchestrated for your elevation. The lessons, the losses, the loneliness, it all held purpose. Now, it turns into power. And you're going to see how each broken piece was part of a masterpiece. You're stepping into alignment with a frequency that no longer tolerates lack, confusion, or waiting. This is not the season of delay. This is the season of arrival. You're not being asked to prove yourself anymore. That season is over. You're not being tested anymore. That phase has passed. You're being rewarded. Rewarded for holding on when you could have let go. Rewarded for believing when nothing around you made sense. Rewarded for trusting even in silence. You've crossed over now. You're no longer in the almost. You're in the now. You're in the unveiling. You're in the evidence. You're in the moment where everything begins to accelerate, align, and unfold in ways your past self would have called a miracle. There's an energy rising around you right now. It's no longer subtle. It's forceful. It's undeniable. Things are shifting in your favor because you've shifted within. The old version of you couldn't hold this promise, but the you that emerged through fire, the you that stood up from the ruins, that version is ready. And life is responding. You're going to find doors flinging open, conversations that lead to breakthroughs, and situations you couldn't have orchestrated even if you tried. This is not coincidence. This is fulfillment, the kind that was promised to you long before you even knew to ask. You must understand now, you were chosen before you were aware. The divine chose you for this moment because you carry something sacred. You carry strength forged in silence, light birthed from dark places, and vision untouched by chaos. And this makes you unstoppable. The world may not have recognized you before, but the divine never forgot. And now the world is about to watch what happens when a divine promise becomes visible. This is the unveiling. This is the evidence. This is the reality of what you've known deep down all along. You may feel a mix of emotion right now: relief, gratitude, maybe even disbelief. But don't let fear interrupt this moment. Embrace it, feel it, breathe into it, because this time it's real. You're not dreaming, you're not imagining. This isn't a preview. This is the actual event. This is the moment everything changes, not outside of you, but within you. The shift is internal first, and when the inside shifts, the outside must obey. That's how powerful this energy is. That's how powerful you are. You didn't come this far for nothing. You didn't endure all that pain, that waiting, that wandering for the story to end in disappointment. That's not your destiny. That's not the ending written for you. You were made to rise. And now, that rising is not symbolic. It's literal, it's physical, it's spiritual, it's visible. You are being seen. You are being recognized. You are being elevated. What was hidden is now revealed. What was delayed is now delivered. What was promised is now possessed. Stay present. Stay aware. Stay open. Because the floodgates have been opened and the blessings are flowing. No more trickles. This is overflow. You're not stepping into a new chapter. You're stepping into a whole new book. The old narrative has ended. The old limitations have expired. You are not who you were. And this world is not ready for what's about to pour through you. But it doesn't have to be ready. You are. That's all that matters. Because the promise wasn't made to the world. It was made to you. And now, chosen one, it's time to live it. Something deep inside you has always known. Even when the path was unclear. Even when you were surrounded by silence. Even when life looked nothing like what you believed was possible. Something in your soul kept whispering, "There's more. This isn't the end." That whisper was the voice of the promise speaking before it could be seen. And now, that voice is becoming your reality. This is not about being lucky. This is about being aligned. This is what happens when your preparation meets divine timing. You may not have understood every delay, every closed door, every painful transition, but they were sacred setups. They didn't deny you, they refined you. They carved out a version of you who can now hold what others fumbled. They built a capacity in you to thrive in spaces you once felt unworthy of. And that shift was never about proving your worth to others. It was about proving it to yourself. Because the promise only sticks to those who believe in what they carry. And you carry fire, you carry truth, you carry vision, you carry authority. These aren't traits you learned from the world. They were placed inside you before you were born. And through every test, they've grown stronger. You didn't break, you transformed. You didn't fade, you evolved. You didn't lose, you were recalibrated. And now, life has no choice but to reflect the version of you that refused to give up. That's how energy works. That's how alignment works. When your internal reality shifts, your external circumstances respond with force. You are entering the phase where your name is mentioned in rooms you've never walked into, where opportunities are magnetized to you without you needing to chase, where your presence alone opens doors. Why? Because the promise comes with favor, and favor makes no sense to the logical mind. It bypasses hierarchy, it overrides limitations, it breaks protocols, it positions you in places others thought were impossible. But impossible is a word that doesn't apply to those who are chosen. You don't move by chance, You move by design, and design takes time. The design of your life was not a straight line. It was a divine tapestry, woven with pain and beauty, fear and courage, death and resurrection. You had to be torn apart in some seasons so that the real you could emerge. You had to lose what was not meant to stay so you could receive what was built to last. And now that you've shed the unnecessary, the promise no longer has to wait. The promise has been watching, waiting for you to become bold enough to claim it. This isn't a dream anymore. This isn't something you just visualize. This is something you embody. The more you walk like it's already yours, the faster it arrives, because the universe matches your energy, not your wishful thinking. When you walk in certainty, life bends to support you. The promise is not just about receiving, it's about becoming. Becoming the one who no longer doubts. Becoming the one who no longer begs. Becoming the one who no longer hesitates. You've reached that point. You've crossed that threshold. You've stepped into your full power. And now, the shift is inevitable. It's not about being the loudest or the most visible. It's about being the most authentic. You didn't climb your way to this moment by faking it. You didn't manipulate your way into favor. You aligned. You healed. You surrendered. You trusted. And that trust activated a power that can't be reversed. You are now attracting what's been divinely stored for you all along. People will call it sudden, but it's not sudden. It's right on time. Divine time. This new chapter of your life won't require you to strive the same way. It will require you to receive, to open your hands and your heart, to understand that you no longer need to chase what was always meant to find you. The promise is here. The evidence will be clear. You'll see it in your relationships, in your opportunities, in your ideas, in the way people respond to your presence, in the way synchronicities seem to multiply. That's not a glitch in the system. That's the system finally catching up to who you truly are. There is no need to prove anymore. You're not here to convince. You're here to embody. You're not here to defend. You're here to declare. You're not here to strive. You're here to shine. This moment was made for you. It was always reserved, always protected, always prepared. Now all that's left is for you to take it, own it, walk in it, and don't shrink, don't hesitate. Don't let the opinions of the unawakened keep you in the shadows. You are the light, and your light is not up for negotiation. This world needs what you carry. The promise wasn't just about you. It was about those who will be impacted by your rise, those who will be healed by your journey, those who will be awakened by your truth. So you must rise, not for applause, but for alignment, not for fame, but for fulfillment, not for validation, but for purpose. And that purpose is now in motion. You feel it, you know it. Don't run from it, run into it. The world has had enough noise, enough distraction, enough masks. You are not part of that illusion. You were born to break patterns, to awaken timelines, to redirect generations, to be a living, breathing example of what happens when a soul refuses to settle. This is more than manifestation. This is sacred agreement. This is destiny unfolding. This is the promise, fully alive, fully real, fully here. You have reached the moment where your presence begins to shift atmospheres. You no longer need to force change. Your energy alone is enough to realign what surrounds you. You are no longer chasing after healing, clarity, or breakthroughs. You are carrying them. Your energy is becoming medicine. Your vibration is turning into a signal, a frequency that only the right people, the right paths, and the right timing can match. And from this point forward, your life becomes a magnetic field of alignment. There's no more room for hesitation, no more space for doubt. What's happening now isn't about permission from others. It's about permission from yourself. The promise has arrived, not because everything around you is perfect, but because you've finally become the version of yourself who is ready. The version that doesn't need proof to believe. The version that leads with faith, not fear. The version that walks with an unshakable inner knowing that something greater is orchestrating your every step. Let go of the need to understand how it will all unfold. Your job is not to micromanage miracles. Your job is to remain open. Open to being surprised by grace. Open to divine interruptions. Open to favor showing up in places you thought were barren. You will be led, step by step, into the fullness of the promise. And sometimes it will come in ways that feel unfamiliar. Because what's unfamiliar isn't wrong, it's just higher. It's just different from what your past was prepared for. But your future is ready. You are now standing in a divine transition, not a small step, a massive leap. You will look back at this moment and realize this was when everything began to align. The universe is not asking you to hustle, to beg, or to exhaust yourself for what's already been written into your path. The universe is asking you to stand up, to show up, to step into the room like the space was always meant for you, because it was. And you'll know you're on the right path, not because it's easy, but because it feels like peace. Even in uncertainty, peace will guide you. Let people talk. Let them misunderstand. Let them doubt. You were not chosen to be understood by everyone. You were chosen to be a revelation. And revelations always come with resistance. You don't need mass validation to walk in the promise. You just need divine conviction. You just need the courage to go where others are too afraid to go. That's what separates the chosen from the comfortable. And you, chosen one, were never meant to be comfortable. You were meant to be transformed. What's happening in your life now is not just about personal gain. It's about divine impact, the kind of impact that awakens others, that disrupts stagnation, that reminds people of their own purpose. When people see your rise, they won't just admire it. They'll be moved by it. They'll feel something in their spirit awaken because your alignment activates others. And that's why your promise had to take time. It wasn't just about you. It was about those attached to your breakthrough, those who need your story, your words, your presence, your light. And now that light is unstoppable. You've been through enough darkness to know how to hold it. You've been through enough silence to recognize your own voice. You've been through enough heartbreak to know how to love deeper. Everything you thought was breaking you was actually building you. Now, you carry wisdom. You carry compassion. You carry discernment. You are not stepping into this promise unprepared. You are stepping in crowned, seasoned, and fully aware of who you are. This is the season where you stop shrinking. No more hiding. No more downplaying your greatness to fit into small spaces. No more settling for less than what your soul knows it deserves. The time for playing it safe is over. You don't need to apologize for being powerful. You don't need to dim your light for the comfort of others. If your light offends them, they're not your people. And that's okay, because the right people, the ones sent for this chapter, will recognize you instantly. They'll support you without needing to be convinced. They'll mirror your energy. They'll water your dreams. The journey ahead won't always be smooth, but it will be guided. Every step you take now is covered in favor, covered in divine timing, covered in unseen protection. You are not walking alone anymore. You never were. But now, you're aware of it. You're aware that even your silence was heard, that even your private prayers moved something in the unseen realm. And those silent moments are what birthed this breakthrough. Not the ones where you were loud and confident, but the ones where you were scared, unsure, and still chose to believe. That is the strength that brought the promise here. And that's the strength that will carry you through what's next. Because even though this is a season of reward, it is also a season of responsibility. You will be trusted with more, seen by more, called on more. And with that comes the need for deeper boundaries, deeper self-awareness, and a deeper connection to your inner truth. But you're ready. You're more than ready. You've been prepared in silence, refined in isolation, and crowned in the dark. Now the light is catching up to who you've always been. This is not your peak, it's your beginning, the start of a new era. One where you don't just hope for alignment, you live in it. One where you don't just dream, you manifest. Where you don't just survive, you thrive. Everything that's coming into your life now is a reflection of the inner healing you've done. And if something no longer aligns, it will fall away. Don't mourn it. Bless it. Release it. Because what's ahead is so pure, so expansive, so deeply fulfilling that there will be no room for anything less than the truth. This is your moment. This is your rising. This is the evidence of what happens when a soul refuses to give up. The evidence of what happens when you walk with faith longer than fear. The promise is not just close, it's here, and it's unfolding in ways that will shock even you. You've been through chapters that nearly took you out, chapters that bent your spirit, tested your limits, and questioned your worth. But still, you rose, quietly, consistently, boldly. You didn't need applause to keep going. You didn't need clarity to keep moving. What carried you forward wasn't logic. It was something higher, something deeper, something sacred. And now, that sacred persistence is opening doors no man can close. What you're stepping into now isn't a result of chance. It's a reward for your obedience to your inner knowing. A reward for trusting when it made no sense to trust. This new version of you isn't here to revisit old pain. It's here to repurpose it, to turn what once hurt into power, to convert disappointment into direction. Every heartbreak, every closed door, every silent night has refined you. It carved away the excess. It removed what couldn't come with you. The world sees what you're becoming, but only you know what it took to get here. That quiet suffering birthed a loud promise. And now, the beauty of your breakthrough will speak louder than anything that tried to break you. The promise is here, and it's not subtle. It comes with a force, a presence, a clarity that feels undeniable. You will start to see things differently. You'll walk into rooms and feel shifts. You'll hear your name in spaces you've never entered. You'll feel a pull toward environments that nourish your soul, not your ego. You'll crave truth over popularity, peace over attention, alignment over attachment. That's how you know the promise is not only around you, it's inside you. It's reshaping how you think, how you love, how you lead. And because you carry this promise now, you'll begin to attract differently. You won't chase anymore. You won't beg to be chosen. You'll realize you've always been chosen. And with that realization comes a new posture, one of quiet confidence. Not arrogance, not entitlement, but the kind of confidence that comes from surviving what was meant to destroy you. From overcoming cycles that ran through generations. From being the one who said, "It stops with me," You are not average. You are an interruption to every limitation that tried to bind you. People may ask what changed. They may wonder why you seem different, lighter, stronger, calmer. But you'll know it's the promise, it's the evidence, it's the reward of inner work, finally manifesting in outer transformation. You've shifted timelines. You've stepped into a version of your life that no longer tolerates distortion. This new space won't allow old habits to follow you. The version of you who tolerated chaos, who accepted less, who doubted the vision, that version is no longer here. You outgrew that skin, and now you're walking in truth. What's ahead of you is not built on pressure. It's built on purpose. There is no rush, no anxiety, no urgency to make it, because it's already made. You are simply aligning with what was always yours. And in this alignment, you will find peace in the process. You'll learn to trust divine delays as redirections. You'll see rejection as protection. You'll find power in presence. This is not about controlling outcomes. It's about becoming unshakable regardless of them. The promise doesn't mean you'll never face challenge again. It means you'll face it from a place of clarity, with spiritual authority, with unwavering discernment. You will no longer be baited into energy-draining battles. You won't waste your breath explaining your worth. You'll simply be. You'll simply move. And your movement will speak volumes. Because when you move with the promise, the entire atmosphere responds. There's a peace coming to your life now that can't be shaken by circumstance. A calm confidence that no longer needs validation. You are learning how to trust your own intuition, your own inner voice, your own connection to the divine. You are no longer outsourcing your clarity to external sources. That's the shift. You've taken your power back, and with it, you're rewriting your story. What once felt impossible will soon become normal. Conversations you once dreamed of will feel familiar. Rooms you once longed to enter will welcome you. Not because the rooms changed, but because you did. You became the version of yourself who no longer needed to fit in. You built your own table. You set your own terms, and that authenticity is magnetic. The right people, the right resources, the right relationships will find you because you've stopped trying to become what you're not. And what you are is powerful, not loud, not forceful, but steady, aligned, rooted in something eternal. That's what makes you different. You've stopped performing and started embodying. You've stopped hustling and started flowing. The promise is not earned, it's inherited. It's yours by alignment, not by performance. And now that you've aligned, it has no choice but to manifest. You are not too late. You are not behind. You are right on time. Everything is catching up to the new you, the healed you, the clear you, the awakened you. And this version of you doesn't have time for distractions, doesn't have energy for drama, doesn't entertain anything that costs peace. You've come too far. You've sacrificed too much. And now, it's time to live in the reality you were always destined for. This is your season of clarity, your season of confirmation, your season of quiet victories and bold transformations. Don't second-guess it. Don't apologize for it. Just walk in it. Move like it's yours, because it is. And remember, you are not here to survive the world. You're here to transform it, simply by being who you are. What you are experiencing now is a rise that cannot be reversed, a shift that no one can block. This promise is not just visible in your circumstances, it's embedded in your identity. It's not an external reward, it's an internal recognition. You've crossed into a space of knowing. Not guessing, not hoping, knowing. You know who you are now. You know what you carry. You know what you're meant to do. And this knowing will lead you farther than strategy ever could. You are not walking into this promise with the same posture you once held. The hesitation is gone. The uncertainty has burned away. What's left is clarity and confidence. Not loud confidence, not performance, but the kind that lives in your silence. The kind that doesn't need to announce itself because it is rooted. That's what your journey has given you. Depth. Not everyone has it, but you do. And now, it's undeniable. There is an energy moving around you that is so precise, so sacred, so orchestrated, that you won't be able to take credit for it. The conversations, the encounters, the unexpected openings, they're being divinely arranged. Not because you forced them, but because you're finally in position, and the universe supports what's aligned. This promise is flowing not because you begged for it, but because you became the version of you who could hold it without fear. And it doesn't matter what others think of your journey. They didn't cry the tears you cried. They didn't endure the nights where you almost gave up. They don't know the depth of your battles, but the divine knows. The divine saw everything. And that's why this season is different. Because this time, it's not just about elevation. It's about redemption. It's about restoration. It's about proving to your own soul that you were never forsaken. You were always on track, even when you felt lost. You will begin to notice that things start to find you effortlessly, that people begin to ask what changed. They'll want to understand how you suddenly became so magnetic, so clear, so powerful. But it's not sudden, and it's not magic. It's alignment. You aligned with truth. You cut the cords that were draining you. You said no when you used to say yes. You healed wounds that used to control you. You stepped into your own light and stopped dimming it for the comfort of others. And now, your world reflects that decision. You're not chasing anymore. You're not performing. You're not hustling to be seen. You've become the one who simply is. And that presence is your power. The real ones will feel it. They'll be drawn to you not because of what you do, but because of who you are. Your being has become your message. Your energy has become your impact. You are walking proof that healing is possible, that transformation is real, that divine timing never misses. And because you've become that, your voice carries more weight now. Your presence carries more authority. Your words heal. Your silence speaks. You are the embodiment of what others still dream of becoming. And that's not pride, that's purpose. You didn't survive everything you've been through just to live a quiet, small life. You survived so you could rise and lead, not by force, not by fame, but by frequency, by being who you really are. You're not trying to be spiritual. You are spirit. You're not trying to be light. You are light. You're not trying to be whole. You are whole. That's the promise. That's the realization. That's the arrival. You've stopped searching for what you already carry. And that realization changes everything. It flips the script. You're not waiting on anything anymore. You are the thing someone else is praying for. And when you walk with that awareness, everything around you adjusts. This new life requires new agreements, new standards, new rhythms. You no longer have space for relationships that drain, for conversations that belittle, for spaces that distort your vision. You've graduated from survival. You've entered into legacy. And legacy isn't built in the spotlight. It's built in intention, in alignment, in showing up every day as your most authentic, liberated, bold self. That's how you honor the promise, by living in it fully, And in this new rhythm, grace becomes your guide. You don't need to push. You don't need to force. You don't need to overthink. You follow the peace. You move where the flow leads. You rest when your body tells you to. You create when inspiration calls. You serve from a full heart, not a desperate one. That's the power of living inside the promise. You no longer run on empty. You've tapped into an infinite source. And now, that source sustains you. You'll feel this in the way your mind quiets, in the way your heart softens, in the way you stop seeking permission. You'll no longer try to fit in. You'll realize you were always meant to stand out. You'll no longer explain your dreams to those who lack the capacity to understand them. You'll realize your vision is sacred, and only those with matching vision are allowed access to it. From this place of truth, your reality begins to accelerate. Things that once felt far will suddenly feel near. Goals you once wrote down will now happen without you even pushing. Why? Because this is not just your doing, it's your destiny. And destiny doesn't wait for you to be perfect. It waits for you to be present, to be aware, to be willing. And you are. You are willing to rise, willing to walk away, willing to trust what you can't yet see, willing to let go of the old story and step into the new one, willing to let what's gone stay gone and what's coming come. And in that willingness, the promise blooms, not in chaos, but in peace, not in striving, but in stillness, not in noise, but in knowing. This is the life you were born for, not a life of fear, not a life of lack, but a life of alignment, impact, abundance, and truth. And now that you've stepped into that reality, the world around you will rise to meet you, because you're no longer becoming, you are. Now that you've arrived at this sacred place in your life, everything is beginning to feel different, and rightfully so. The weight you used to carry is no longer yours. The fears that used to haunt your mind feel distant, like echoes from a past that no longer defines you. You've transcended, not in a way that separates you from the world, but in a way that finally connects you to your truth. You've shed layers that were never yours, beliefs that were borrowed, patterns that were inherited. You've chosen to remember who you are, and that changes everything. This isn't a story about getting everything you ever wanted. This is the story of becoming everything you were meant to be. This is the shift where your identity aligns with your destiny. And in that alignment, life begins to respond to you differently. You won't need to search for opportunities. They'll recognize you. They'll find you. The version of you that walks in certainty is the version the universe has been waiting to bless. Now, you must walk forward with complete conviction. There is no room for second guessing. You've already been prepared. You've already been refined. You don't need more signs. The moment you've been waiting for has already begun, and your only job now is to keep saying yes. Say yes to the opportunities that stretch you. Say yes to the healing that frees you. Say yes to the love that sees you. Say yes to the path that might not make sense to the world, but feels like home to your soul. Let your yes echo louder than your past. Let your yes anchor you in faith. Let your yes remind the universe that you're ready, because you are. The struggles didn't break you, they prepared you. The silence didn't reject you, it grew you. The delays didn't deny you, they designed you. And now you move with the wisdom of someone who has been to the edge of doubt and returned full of vision. The promise is no longer abstract. It's no longer something you're holding out hope for. It's here, tangible, living, real. It's in the way people speak to you differently. It's in the way doors open without you knocking. It's in the way your energy fills rooms before you say a word. This is the evidence of your evolution. This is what it looks like when someone who has healed walks into their season. You will no longer tolerate anything that does not resonate with your frequency. You will no longer explain your joy to those who haven't done the work to find their own. You will no longer trade your peace for company. You will no longer hide the power of your voice just to keep others comfortable. Your voice is sacred. Your path is divine. Your time is now. And as you walk forward, remember this: you don't have to know every step. You just have to trust the next one. You don't have to carry every answer. You just have to hold space for truth. You don't have to fix everything around you. You just have to stay aligned with what's inside you. This journey is not about perfection. It's about presence. It's about being here, fully, authentically, unapologetically. That's the power of the promise. It brings you back to yourself. You will notice how the small things begin to bless you again. A conversation, a breeze, a quiet morning, a moment of clarity in chaos. These signs will not be dramatic. They will be divine, and you'll know. You'll know that the shift is not outside of you. It's within you, and because of that, the world bends to meet you. Keep showing up. Keep listening to your spirit. Keep making space for joy, for rest, for grace. Let go of what's gone. Let it go without fear, without anger, without judgment. It was part of the plan, but it is not part of the promise. And the promise is too precious to be diluted by old pain. This is a new era for you, one where your decisions are guided by vision, not fear. One where your relationships are rooted in depth, not obligation. One where your dreams are pursued with purpose, not pressure. You are not rushing anymore. You're moving with intention, with clarity, with knowing. Because you are no longer just surviving the process. You are living the fulfillment. And if you ever forget how far you've come, how powerful you are, how deeply supported you've always been, just return to your breath. Return to the quiet. Return to that place inside you that has never left your side. That voice, the one that whispered even when everything felt silent, is still here. And now it's not whispering, it's declaring, it's saying, you are the promise, you are the evidence, you are the living proof. Walk in it now. Let it cover you. Let it guide you. Let it pour through everything you do. This isn't just your time. This is your testimony. This is your arrival. And no one can take it from you.